How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be going over the long-term and short-term effects of a nuclear war. However, let's first talk about the detrimental effects of nuclear weapons in general. Nuclear weapons are fundamentally different from conventional weapons because of the vast amounts of explosive energy they can release and the kinds of effects they produce, such as high temperatures and radiation. The prompt effects of a nuclear explosion and fallout are well known through data gathered from the attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, from more than 500 atmospheric and more than 1500 underground nuclear tests conducted worldwide, and from extensive calculations and computer modeling.
Longer-term effects on human health and the environment are less certain but have been extensively studied. The impacts of a nuclear explosion depend on many factors, including the design of the weapon fission or fusion and its yield, whether the detonation takes place in the air and at what altitude, on the surface, underground or underwater, the meteorological and environmental conditions, and whether the target is urban, rural or military.
Let's get started with the immediate effects. It takes around 10 seconds for the fireball from a nuclear explosion to reach its maximum size. A nuclear explosion releases vast amounts of energy in the form of blast, heat and radiation. An enormous shock wave reaches speeds of many hundreds of kilometers an hour. The blast kills people close to ground zero and causes lung injuries, ear damage, and internal bleeding further away. People sustain injuries from collapsing buildings and flying objects.
Thermal radiation is so intense that almost everything close to ground zero is vaporized. The extreme heat causes severe burns and ignites fires over a large area, which coalesce into a giant firestorm. Even people in underground shelters face likely death due to a lack of oxygen and carbon monoxide poisoning. This was a general breakdown on what happens immediately after a nuclear weapon hits.
The long-term effects get a bit technical. Ionizing radiation, which nuclear powers create, cause genetic damage and cancer in addition to killing or injuring people who are exposed to it and contaminating the environment. They have had terrible long-term effects as a result of pervasive usage in the atmospheric testing. In the future, doctors predict that 2.4 million cancer deaths worldwide would result from atmospheric nuclear testing conducted between 1945 and 1980.
In the long run, the deployment of even 1% of the world's nuclear arsenal might alter the climate and result in a nuclear famine that could kill up to 2 billion people. The hundreds of nuclear weapons that the US and Russia both possess have the potential to start a nuclear winter and wipe out the vital ecosystems on which all life depends.
The video will be continued after a short promotion on an upcoming event that we're hosting in order to share an expert opinion on the topics that we're targeting in this initiative. The details for the event are visible on your screen. Our guest speaker, Wing Commander Kulwant Singh Brar, was commissioned in 1969 as a fighter pilot and flew the Hunter, Nat and MiG-21 aircraft. He participated in the 1971 war in the Western Front and managed helicopter operations in Jammu and Kashmir and the Siachen Glacier. He evaluated and understood the risk of various weapon systems, including nuclear weapons, in both his role as a frontier combat pilot and overseeing the protection of Indian airspace. A more detailed description is available on our other socials. The event will be taking place on Zoom and the Zoom link will be shared in the description and our bio. We would highly appreciate you joining the webinar this Saturday, 29th April 2023 from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. IST. Now let's get back to the video.
Doctors and emergency personnel wouldn't be able to operate in a radioactively polluted, destroyed place. Even a single nuclear explosion in a contemporary metropolis would exceed any disaster relief system we could create in preparation, and a nuclear war would overrun all available resources. The damage caused by a nuclear war will result in a refugee catastrophe that is orders of magnitude worse than anything we have ever seen.
That will be all for this video. We hope that you learned something new or that this helped increase your understanding on how environmentally disastrous a nuclear war can be. And again, as mentioned many times before, we would highly appreciate you filling the form that we've made to get your opinions on our targeted topics. The link to our other socials and the form will be available in the description or the link in our bio. Have a good day and thanks for watching.